You ever seen anybody panic in fantasy football before? Because it happens every single year. All the time in leagues all throughout the world, you're going to find people that panic way too early in fantasy football. They're excited. They have their favorite studs on their roster. They have high expectations. And then maybe that guy underperforms for a week or two to start the season, and they turn into Chicken Little thinking the sky is falling. Calm the down. It's not. It's okay. There's a few big name guys that have some tough matchups to start the year. Who are they? We're talking about them right now.
Yeah. Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today. We're talking about a few studs that could start a little bit slow, but don't panic. Before we get into this list of names, I got a couple things I need to cover with you real quick. If you're super impatient and just want to get butthurt in the comment section, there's timestamps down below, but don't miss out what I'm about to say right now. First thing, it looks like Kyle's going to succeed in giving away my Nick Chubb jersey. He set a light goal the other day in a video, and it's going to hit it, and I'm going to lose my Chubb jersey. I told him if he did that, he was going to lose something pretty valuable himself. So I have Kyle's YouTube plaque here. I've mentioned this before. We've both autographed it. We've both signed it. I'm going to give this away right now. If this video can get 2,113 likes on it, I'm going to give it to somebody down below in the comment section. So hit that like button and leave that comment, and I'm going to give away Kyle's YouTube plaque, and I'm going to be super pumped about it because I know we're going to hit that like goal. Now, lastly, there's one last thing I need to share with you here. Hey, this is going to be one of the biggest weeks of the year when it comes to drafting fantasy football teams. There's going to be so many of us out there kicking back, relaxing, cold brew in hand, drafting absolute straight bangers here over the next few days. But luckily, I found us an additional cheat code. What if I told you that I found a t-shirt that could not only slightly hide that beer belly, but that also deflated inner tube that we may have around our midsection? Classic Tees is the answer. It's a t-shirt that's not like all the others. So many men's t-shirts are designed for skinny dudes with six-packs. Not all of us are skinny dudes with six-packs. Unless it's a six-pack of beer in our hand, but that's a different story. We're wearing the wrong clothes. Fellas, True Classic Tees taper off towards the bottom, and they're tighter around the chest and shoulders. I mean, look at this. I feel like I could play defensive line for the NFL right. Feeling great. It's time to highlight our best attributes and a shirt that we can always comfortably throw on. It's not just t-shirts though. It's polo shirts, workout shirts. It's freaking boxer briefs that make your junk feel amazing. I don't care if you're a big dude, a small dude, or just a regular dude. It's time to upgrade your wardrobe with True Classic. Now, get 25% off at trueclassictees.com when you use the promo code Headliners. Plus, if you spend over $100, they're gonna give you free shipping as well. Once again, that's 25% off at trueclassictees.com. Love it. Going to be sitting here all comfy the entire show. First player we're talking about in today's episode, though, going to be Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. And you can see his first 5 games of the season here. We got the Cardinals, Chargers, Colts, Bucks, and Raiders. Now, I will be the first one to admit that the bookend matchups here, the Arizona Cardinals and Las Vegas Raiders, don't overly worry me. But the ones in the middle, they kind of do a little bit. The Los Angeles Chargers, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are no easy task. They're all three ranked inside the top 10 as far as defenses go in the NFL. We know the Chargers kind of revamped their entire defense, right? They added Khalil Mack. They added J.C. Jackson. Already had Joey Bosa and Derwin James and Asante Samuel Jr. Plus, that game, Thursday Night Football don't love short weeks. Indianapolis, they added Stephon Gilmore. They added Yannick Ngakoue. They already had DeForest Buckner, Bobby Okereke, I think is how you say. I can never pronounce his name right. And Shaq Leonard. Plenty of options there. What about Tampa Bay? They added Akeem Hicks and Logan Ryan to already having Vita Vea, Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett. The list goes on. Very, very tough matchups. Then you add in the fact that 3 of the first 4 games this season are going to be on the road. 3 of the first 5 are going to be primetime matchups. And all of these teams can put up points. Some of them, though, have elite defenses. Does this mean that Patrick Mahomes is doomed? No, but if he starts off a little bit slow, don't panic and just sell low. It's Patrick Mahomes. He can throw against everyone. That's why you drafted him where you did. Don't give up too early if he just happens to start a little bit slower in 2022. How about a running back? Let's go down to Najee Harris now. He starts off with the Cincinnati Bengals, New England Patriots, Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, and Buffalo Bills. Now, if I'm being honest, the schedule isn't my entire reasoning here for the potential slow start for Najee Harris. He missed a month in the preseason with a sprained Lisfranc injury in his foot. That's kind of scary, because it was a fractured Lisfranc that kept Travis Etienne from even playing football last year. So the fact that he's even remotely close to that, a little bit concerning. He seems to be back and okay, but could he be a little bit rusty coming out of the gate? For sure. Now, this isn't the toughest matchups across the board, like I said, but it's not really a cakewalk either. On the road against Cincinnati, Cleveland, Buffalo. I mean, Najee wasn't overly efficient in 2021, right? He needed huge volume to do what he did. He only averaged 3.9 yards per carry in 2021. Now, some tougher matchups, plus the rust, not exactly ideal, but don't panic. As long as there's no injury setbacks here, he's going to get the touches, he's going to get the volume, he's going to get fantasy points, so don't worry too early about Najee Harris. How about Breece Hall, another name that a lot of people are talking about here recently. Now, he's got matchups against the Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins. And a lot of people are going to look at this and say, what about Michael Carter? Honestly, I don't really think this has a whole lot to do with Michael Carter serving as the running back one in this offense. I don't care who starts the game. I care who touches the football more throughout the game each and every week, which is going to be Breece Hall. We still don't know the status about Zach Wilson. Is he going to be the week one starter? Is it going to be Joe Flacco? If it's Flacco, I can see them pushing the ball down the field a little bit more to the likes of Garrett Wilson and even Elijah Moore. That worries me just a little bit. Games need to remain close here. We need the Jets with a lead. I know it sounds funny to even talk about the Jets and a lead in the same sentence, but you know what I mean. Just do not be discouraged if Michael Carter comes out and gets some fairly good usage the first few weeks of the season. You did not waste a draft pick. The Jets went out and drafted Breece Hall in the second round. Is he going to then be benched for last year's fourth round pick? That just doesn't make logical sense. They're both going to be used. Breece Hall a little bit more between the tackles and on the goal line, and as the season progresses, could definitely get more and more volume each week. Do not be scared of Breece Hall early in the season. How about Justin Jefferson? Now, he starts off with the Green Bay Packers, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, the New Orleans Saints, and the Chicago Bears. Now, don't get me wrong. Justin Jefferson can beat anyone. He has proven that over his short career. Dude is a stud. But with matchups like this to start the year against the likes of Jair Alexander, Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Marshawn Lattimore, it's just not easy matchups here out of the gate, especially since the difference between defensive back 1 and defensive back 2 on most of these teams is a huge drop-off. We could see more Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Irv Smith Jr., KJ Osborne, at least to start the season. A new offense in Minnesota, so there's that slight unknown factor there as well. Just do not freak out early. The Minnesota schedule gets a lot easier after week 4. This guy is still going to have a huge year and would not surprise me if he ends 2022 as the overall wide receiver 1, despite maybe a slightly slow start. How about Mike Evans now? He's got some matchups coming up to start the season against the Cowboys, the Saints, the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Falcons. But we have loved Mike Evans all offseason, and we still do. Now, Tom Brady, he's coming off of an 11-day hiatus and says he's got a lot of going on, so we really don't know what's going on with Tom Brady. Evans kind of himself dealt with a little bit of injury issues with his hamstring here this preseason, but he seems to be okay and on track to be 100% week 1. But then he has to deal with the likes of Trayvon Diggs, Marshawn Lattimore, and Jair Alexander there of the Green Bay Packers. Plus, can Julio Jones play well enough to draw away some of that defensive attention until Chris Godwin can become healthy and 100%? Evans may be a little bit more reliant on the deep ball here to start the year. Is that a bad thing? No, not really, but it's really hard to kind of go into a game reliant on the big play. We'd love there to be more volume, but to start the season, the first couple weeks, we may just kind of see it hit and miss. Don't panic. It's Tom Brady, it's Mike Evans, and all they do is put up great statistical numbers, so don't freak out with Mike Evans. And then lastly, a tight end, Kyle Pitts. He's got the Saints, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Browns, and the Bucks. Now, Kyle Pitts is going to have a great year for a tight end, but I will not be surprised if he just starts a little bit slower. Being a tight end, we don't always have to worry about the matchups with defensive backs, right? Because a lot of times he won't draw that type of coverage. But sometimes the Falcons put Pitts outside, which means he may draw some of that coverage, and opposing teams are going to need to have bigger defensive backs and athletic linebackers to really cover him effectively. Well, the Saints, they did pretty well against Pitts last year. They held him to 5 catches for 70 yards over 2 games played. The Rams, they have the likes of Jalen Ramsey and Bobby Wagner, Cleveland, Denzel Ward, and JOK, Tampa, Levante David, Devin White, Logan Ryan. Plenty of potential options there for a defense to throw up against Kyle Pitts. The big playability, though, is really what's going to give him that opportunity to save the start of his season. But if the touchdowns don't come early, people are going to freak out. There are still people out there right now that think that Kyle Pitts had a bad year last year because he had only 1 touchdown. Was that ideal? No. But he was a rookie tight end and finished as tight end 7 over the likes of Dawson Knox and Dallas Goedert, because I'm feeling so fancy in my t-shirt right now. And people love those type of guys, but yet they won't acknowledge the fact that Kyle Pitts still finished higher than them. There's some tough matchups to start the season, but they get easier as it goes on, so do not panic early when it comes to Kyle Pitts. But I'm sure there's going to be others, right? There's going to be players that come out and they start a little bit slow. It happens every single year. It's impossible to go out there and know exactly what's going to happen. Do not panic sell early. What I tell people all the time is give it 4 to 5 weeks. Let's really see if we can establish some trends with some of these players before you go out there and just trade them, cut them, give them away. Whatever it is that you want to do with them, don't do it too early, because so many times, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen in the comment section, people come back and say, yeah, I got pissed off with Jonathan Taylor early. I cut him early a couple years ago, and he came back to bite me in the end. That's the type of stuff you do not want to do in fantasy football. Hang on to your studs. Trust that they're going to bounce back, because those are the guys that are going to help you win second half of the season and bring you home more trophies, more belts, and more rings, and that's what it's all about. So do me a favor, hit that like button. I really want to give away Kyle's YouTube plaque. Say goodbye, Kyle, because the like goal is going to happen. Hit that like button. Leave those comments down below. Appreciate all the support. If you haven't subscribed here already, regular season content is right around the corner, where we have everything from starts and sits for all positions, rankings, injury updates, whatever it is you need, we're going to have you covered here, and we're going to have some fun doing it. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Look forward to interacting with you guys down below in the comment section. But for now, hopefully you have a great rest of your day, a great week, and we'll talk to you later.